One of the biggest issues with public accountability in most federal systems is the payment of pensions to former public office holders, such as governors, which is arguably undermining ethical standards in the public sector and impeding socio-economic development. This is because the arbitrariness of the policy, the huge financial burdens it imposes on subnational governments, and the fact that such practice is often uncorrelated with the fiscal realities of the federating states. The problem is more challenging in developing countries that are weighed by weak institutions and poor governance, using the Nigerian case. A case in point is the Abia State House of Assembly that passed the bill for the third reading stopping payment of pension to ex-governors and their deputies. The bill, once assented to by the governor, Alex Oti, will be referred to as the Abia State Governors and Deputy Governors Repeal Law 2024. The bill will take effect immediately after it is signed into law by the governor. With this, I say welcome to a fresh episode of Law and You. My name is Philip Omo-Gyupon. Discussing this with me is a very special guest and a barrister at law, and he is Kikachuku Osaiti Ubogo. Good to have you join me.
Thank you very much.
Let's look at the development and see how you react to this in case of the Abia State House of Assembly stopping the pension of the ex-governors and their deputies if this third reading bill is given a accelerated assent by the governor.
Thank you very much for having me. Now, the issue of pension, first of all, whatever I say here is subjective, is as a result of my own view.
Okay.
There are other persons that might have a different view, but this is my own view. Now, the issue of Abia State and this law is a step in the right direction, in the sense that it is a law that looks at the nature of the state. It is a law that looks at conscience, and it is a law that takes cognizance of the people of the state. So why spend so much money on governors, deputy that will spend 4 years, 8 years, and you are giving them life pension? Why don't you channel it into the state for the good of the people? I think it's a people's law, and I think it's a step in the right direction. Yeah.
Okay, but let's look at how it is like, because we just have it as a head start in Abia State government, and we just hope it pulls through anyways, because at this point it's still at the third reading. But let's look at what transpired in the course of other states' government. You know, we've had this where in some states they started it up, you know, in terms of giving it a look at, and nonchalantly, if I may say so, it became, you know, midway, it died a natural death. So what do you see as the challenges that we are faced with as regards making this law or bill, you know, become a law and taking effect in a way that it will bring, you know, economic prosperity to the states?
Well, you see, with respect to this kind of law, it's something that is a law that if there are no stringent measures to curb it, it will end up being a law that would stand in a particular state depending on the conscience the headmaster, let me use that word now,
okay,
of that state has. For instance, the governor of Abia State, for instance, has thought it wise that there is no need for such. But again, what seems to be a normal in other states is that when you finish as governor, you head on to the National Assembly, or you are blessed with some ministerial position and you are receiving double salary. So for them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's beneficial to them. So it actually takes someone that has the conscience to want to make that law stand. But however, if there are no stringent measures it won't, personally, I do not think it's something that is going to spread.
Okay.
It's going to be more or less like a law standing on its own.
Okay.
With a state-by-state package.
Okay,
like
the
that.
question's better put. Can we categorically say that the reason why we are not seeing this fly in other states is as a result of the ulterior motive of the governors in power?
Exactly.
Probably the plans or the need to also benefit from such largesse when they leave office.
Yes. You know this statement, what is good for the Jews
It's good for the gander.
Exactly. So if my predecessor will benefit from such, why won't I benefit from it?
Okay.
Is it, let me use the local parlance, now my turn, the thing why end, something like that. Yeah, so I think it really takes, I stand by it, that it takes a governor with good conscience to want to make such abnormally stop.
When you say it takes a governor with good conscience, a good example you made that of the
Abia.
Governor of Abia State,
Yeah.
Alex Oti, who has been, on the cover page and even on the headlines and everywhere about his doggedness and his leadership, in turning things around. And we hope to see this replicate in other state governments.
Yes.
But let's look at what you said critically, where you said it seems your honor lies in the governor of the state.
Yes.
Now, why should it be so? If the governor in question is a public office holder, he's holding that office as a public servant in that category, simply put, as a public servant, it then means that he's supposed to do the wishes and biddings of the people. Can there not be other ways of sponsoring this bill, even if the governor is not interested in doing this?
Well, there have been various calls on civil societies to try as much as possible to truncate these lifestyles. But however, if for instance in 2019, the Federal High Court in Lagos stated that the act of the governor receiving life pensions, even when they are National Assembly members or ministers, that it is not only illegal, it is immoral. And my lord also made a statement, made a pronouncement that the Attorney General should take steps to recover over 40 billion from governors that are in the national, from former governors. That, but again, looking at it, did the Attorney General make that move? You understand? Now, even SERAP, the Civil Society has also made that move to push the AG to recover those funds. But again, I think there is actually no will to want to recover it. So it's a case of let us make the noise we want to make.
Okay, so
let us create content, but we can only shout and nothing happens.
Okay, so you mean to say that no matter what the people may do at the point of maybe promoting this bill, at the point of the civil society organizations, like you also mentioned, the Socio-Economic Rights Accountability Project, SERAP, it also falls on the table of the big man, the governor.
Exactly.
To either give assent,
yes,
or refuse to give that.
Yes.
Now, what are the ways in which, because we understand that if it's a people-oriented bill, and there's more pressure on the House of Assembly members, for instance, and there's more pressure on the government, there could be a way the legislature can even make it a law.
Exactly.
If the governor or the big man refuses to give assent to it.
Exactly.
Are there ways in that direction?
Yes. If the National Assembly makes such laws, stopping that act.
Is it the National Assembly or the State Houses of Assembly?
No, let us start from the National Assembly.
Okay.
Actually,
Okay.
If the National Assembly makes the laws, the relevant laws, to stop such acts, then it could stand.
It could stand?
Yes. If the National Assembly makes such laws.
Irrespective of the State Houses of Assembly?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because
being a federal lawmaking
exactly,
body.
and our constitution says that in a situation where there is conflict between the National Assembly and the state, the National Assembly overrides.
Okay.
Yeah, so if the National Assembly makes such laws, I believe it could stand.
You said if.
Yes, if they, no, because we are in a situation whereby we lack the will.
Oh yeah.
If the will is there, then nothing can stop it.
If you say that, let's test because we have 3 organs of government.
Exactly.
Now we have the legislature, the executive, the judiciary.
Exactly.
What about also exercising such opportunities or powers at the level of the judiciary?
Yeah, I just told you about. I just gave an example of a court decision.
Okay, a court decision.
Federal High Court decision.
Yes.
That
how does that translate to?
Exactly. Now the court has said such acts, it is not only
Immoral.
illegal, it is immoral.
But implementing that judgment is another challenge.
Another challenge.
It means that at the point where the court makes a pronouncement, there's also a challenge of implementing such.
Yeah.
At that point, what do you take as responsible factors that may be a clog in the wheel of progress in implementing such? Are you looking at the executive?
We are looking at the executive. We are looking at a good marriage between the executive and the legislature, because at this point in time they are interwoven now, because I just finished as governor. I'm heading to the National Assembly where I will probably retire. And my successor that I put in is there. It has to benefit. So without further talk, I really think if the will is there, yeah, such immoral acts can be stopped. Because the truth is that the governors, they have access to, I do not want to use the immoral word, but they have access to a lot within 4 to 8 years. They have access to a lot. Now, I do not think it is fair when they now leave after 8 years and you are paying them life pensions. And it depends on the state. There are some states that have, if you look at the package of these pensions, from giving them befitting houses in choice areas to changing their exotic cars within short period of time. And now the person that have worked 35 years, you don't have that for that. And there are even some states that till today you have pensioners crying for their little pensions. Kudos to Edo State anyway. You don't have such anymore in Edo State. As a result of the innovations of this administration.
Okay.
Yeah, but however, there are some states where you have pensioners still crying for their lean pensions. And in those states, you now have governors receiving large pensions. Indeed, it's immoral.
Okay.
Yes.
I think at the point you didn't want to really, in stricto sensu, make a mention of how ugly it is as regards the opportunities that such governors have to unscrupulously feed on the common patrimony of the people.
Yes.
And now let's take our minds back to a lot of challenges that have happened in the past, in the Stone Age, where Thomas Hobbes had to theorize that for us to have a government where life will not be short, nasty, and brutish, or for us to have a society, rather, where life will not be short, nasty, and brutish, is important for us to have a government to run the affairs of man.
Exactly.
Now, if you are saying in this context that it seems the hope of the common man seems to lie in the grace of the big man, in that toga of being a governor, then where lies the essence of the government, feeding in or serving as a bridge to ameliorate the plight of the common man? If the judiciary, who is seen as the hope of the common man, is not able to take it up at this point.
Well, the judiciary does not make laws. The judiciary only Interpret the laws.
Was it calculated by government or those who form the government to
No.
to kind of make the people handicapped or not able to pull through in this sense?
Oh no, I wouldn't know that, but
the crafters of the constitution. You mean?
I wouldn't know how their mind were thinking, but the judiciary, the judiciary actually do not make laws. They only interpret whatever laws that have been made.
But how to make such judgments? Because you made mention of a pronouncement,
yes,
that has declared it as immoral for them to continue to feed on the common patrimony in the toga of receiving pensions.
Yes.
Now, can such judgment not be given speedy passage if the big man doesn't want to, bring out ways or provide viable objectives for the implementation of such judgments?
Well, like I said in the Federal High Court have made a pronouncement.
Yeah.
And to drive home this judgment, it was further ordered that the Attorney General of the Federation should take steps to recover whatever has been received by
the Attorney General is under the governor or even the
president. Yes. Now, let us the word Attorney General of the Federation. Now it says they gave him step, or they gave the office step to recover. Now, if probably the AG, which is a powerful office, have actually made those steps, then we would not be seeing, we will not be messed with this issue, because it is a long overdue issue. These issues have started since 2007 or so. Yeah, and it goes further to show that because governance is seen as a lucrative business, people in general now don't go in for the sake of serving the people.
Exactly.
They go in for their own personal interests to get more richer and more powerful. You understand? So I think one of the ways in which this can actually be stopped is if we make governance less lucrative.
Yeah, less lucrative.
If governance is less lucrative, then whoever has the interest, without any iota of doubt, you will know that he's going in for the interest of the people, and not for his own personal pocket. So that is it. Yeah.
Well, just in case you're just joining us, it's Law and You, and we're looking at a very sensitive topic. You agree with me on that? Looking at the aspect of a bill being passed by the State House of Assembly, Abia State particularly, and it has gone through the third reading, stopping payment of pensions to ex-governors and their deputies. And I've been discussing with Chika Osaitin Ugbogo. My name is Philip Omo-Gyupom. Now, let's look at this strictly.
Yes.
The aspect where we need to, follow it more logically.
Yes.
We heard the reactions of the former governor of Abia State, Ikpeazu.
Yes.
Where he was saying that since he left office, he has not received a dime of the pensions. And now we know that we have a new governor, Alex Oti. Now, if it should take effect, because once he gives assent to it, because it clearly shows from what we can see that he has his fingerprints in all of this bill that is being taken to the third stage. Otherwise, it won't fly. Exactly. And so, what will now happen in terms of the previous governor? Is it going to take a retrospective legislation?
I like to think it will take a retrospective effect.
Being that he has not been paid till now.
Exactly. And more so, from what I have been reading about it, it says the bill will take immediate effects from the date it was signed.
Okay, from the date it was signed.
Exactly.
That doesn't tell like a retrospective, anyways.
I like to think it would take. It has the retrospective flavor in it.
Okay. Yes.
Because the former governor, the ex-governor, is no longer in charge. He doesn't controls the policies anymore. And we need to start seeing the law takes effect.
Okay,
Yeah.
but even if it takes a retrospective effect,
Yes.
will it not be an issue of litigation?
For a law that we say is immoral, why will he?
Yeah,
Why he could try?
Okay,
The court is open for everybody.
There's already a pronouncement in that regard.
Yes,
There's already a pronouncement.
Yes, the court is actually open for everybody.
But I think it will be selfish, and it will bring to bear, those who are really taking public offices for personal aggrandizement.
Yes.
If at all they pursue that case into the court. Basically, I think that's an eye-opener.
Well,
I don't think that is going to fly, even if it goes retrospective.
yes. Well, the thing is that you really cannot decipher the extent of a man's heart. Anyway.
Okay. Okay.
So there are persons that might want to try, but the truth is that law is not a people's law.
Okay.
And according to what the Abia state government says, is that there is need to reduce the cost of governance.
Yeah, which is key.
Yes, and you can imagine a governor takes security votes. There's no question as to that. And the other benefit that comes from governance. And after that, we are talking about a life pension. Not just a small. It is a very mighty package. I think
Okay.
we should fear God.
Yes, exactly.
And stop those kind of
just
things.
like you said, we should fear God.
Yes.
While we tell this episode to a conclusion, you made some good remarks about the policy of the governor of Edo State,
Yes.
Godwin Oregase or Baseki.
Yes.
And being that as it is, shouldn't we enjoy this that we're already seeing about the Abia State government? Don't you think it should also be replicated by the state government? That should be like what he should also do as he's leaving the office in a few months.
Well, he's leaving in a few months. We shouldn't push him out. He has not left. And the governor, since he came into power, you could see that apart from probably that pensioners come
for pensions, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have...
In terms of receiving their pensions regularly.
You don't have the issue of pensioners crying on the streets that their pension has not been paid.
But that should have gone an extra mile, in terms of also paying all of this debt being owed by the state government then, if he had, find a way to also promote such a bill to be passed into law in order to stop the pensions of ex-governors and their deputies, because you agreed with me not just now on this episode that it takes a huge amount, from the coffers of the subnational government. Well, I think we're going to be taking that maybe
the thing is that the people are happy that he is living up to expectation, and these pensions are not owed.
Okay.
So probably if they were being owed, then we could see the bombs flying.
Okay. All right.
So that is why we should continue to encourage this administration for its innovations.
Okay.
And more so its people policy. It's people-oriented.
Thank you so much for taking part on this episode. Basically, we're going to be continuing from where we stopped, and we're going to be looking deeper into encouraging this in Edo State and, of course, other states. My name is Philip Omo Gupon. We do this same time next week. Goodbye.